Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to talk about the FreshRoast SR800 and my experience with it. During the great coronavirus pandemic of 2020, it was really difficult to find freshly roasted coffee, so I decided to order my own unroasted coffee from Amazon and roast it myself. Initially I used a stovetop pot, but then after that required a lot of stirring, I decided to upgrade to this roaster. Here you can see the 5-pound bag of fresh roasted coffee that I have. This is actually a Colombian Swiss water decaf, and I use around 7 scoops, and that's equal to around 200 grams of coffee or around a half a pound. That's about the right size because obviously the coffee will expand while it's being roasted. The lid on it is a chaff collector, which allows the chaff around the outside, that thin layer, if you think of like popcorn, to all collect up at the top. Initially, the beans are heavy because they're green, of course. And so when you start the machine, you need to blow some air through it. That's one of the features. And then, of course, apply the heating element to it. So it's a machine with 2 functions. You can see the 4 numbers at the base. Actually, there are 3. The first number is the speed of the fan. The second number is the heat power. And the third and fourth number are actually the time remaining in minutes. So if you have the fan speed at 1, you're barely going to blow any air through the beans. They could burn. If you set the fan speed at, say, 9, you're going to blow a lot of air through the beans and you'll see them move around. Obviously, in the early stages of the roasting, you need to have the coffee bouncing around a little bit, and it's very heavy, so that's why we need to set the roasting temperature at 8. And the heat should be set to 9. Initially, the beans aren't hot, but during the process, they will actually build up some internal heat, and then you can even lower the temperature a little bit. And then you can see that the temperature, or the time, is set to 9 minutes. You can see the beans moving around a little bit, and as they start to become brown, we can turn the dial the whole way to the right and get an idea of what the temperature of the beans are. They should go up into the 400 Fahrenheit range, and then at some point they will start to make a crackling sound. At that point it is officially coffee, and again, that's the outer shell cracking from the increasing pressure inside. And after a pause, there's actually a second crack, and you can use that to brew to make dark roasts, or an Italian roast, or an espresso roast. And there's a very fine line though between a dark roast and burnt. So the first few times that you use it, you have to stay a little bit vigilant. But overall, the hands-on time is only around 2 or 3 minutes. Pouring it in, setting up the initial temperature, monitoring it, maybe going inside for about 6 or 7 minutes, and then coming out at the end. When the process is done, it goes into a 3-minute cooling time. So when the timer reaches 0, you will see C3, and so that's 3 minutes of cooling, 2 minutes, and then 1 minute, and then it will be done. The handle is on the top is hot, but almost cool enough to touch. So you would just take off the lid and then put the beans in a bag, preferably with a one-way valve, because there is carbon dioxide that is accumulated during the process, and it's a good idea to let that carbon dioxide degas through the valve. But make sure that you keep it in a cool, dry, and dark place, as sunlight and heat and moisture obviously are the enemies of the beans. After around 48 hours, the beans start to develop that really nice coffee taste that we're so familiar with. You can see here the temperature is up around 435 Fahrenheit, so the beans are starting to get that nice dark brown color that we're so familiar with. Anyway, that is it for this machine, and I will just let the video run so we can see this process go the whole way through.